Today, we're going to look at something pretty amazing, the connection between just one person's life and the entire educational landscape of a region. It's a story about service, about sacrifice, and about a legacy that you can still see today in hundreds of schools.
Let's dive right in. The whole idea here is simple, it's really powerful. How can the focused mission of one single person plant the seeds for something huge, something historic? We're going to trace that exact path, from one man's actions to a completely transformed region.
Let's start with the man at the center of it all. His name was Father James Kottayil, a Jesuit priest. His journey is what sets this whole story in motion, taking us from the south of India right into the heart of its tribal communities. Now, what's so important to understand about him right off the bat is his historical significance. Fr Kottayil is remembered as the very first priestly missionary and, tragically, the first martyr from his home state of Kerala. From the very beginning, he was a real pioneer. You can see his life followed this really clear, dedicated path. He was born in 1915, ordained back in 1948. Right away, he devoted himself to this missionary work, a long, long way from home. A dedication that, as we see, would ultimately cost him his life in 1967. We've met the man. Now let's talk about the context of his work. Where was he and what was he actually trying to do? That brings us to something called the Chota Nagpur Mission. The Chota Nagpur Mission was a Jesuit project with a really clear purpose: the upliftment of marginalized tribal communities. We're talking about an area that's now part of the Indian state of Jharkhand. The focus wasn't just spiritual, it was really holistic, deeply rooted in social and educational progress. For Friar Kottayil, education was everything. It was the main tool for making progress. He wasn't just some guy in the mission. No, he was on the front lines, serving as the minister at St. Mary's High School in a place called Samtoli. Here's the thing, this kind of dedication, this work to empower communities, it didn't happen in a vacuum. It actually created a lot of friction. That friction led directly to a major conflict. This is where his story of service starts to become one of sacrifice. We really get a sense of who he was from the people that knew him. You had figures like Bishop Patras Minch, who remembered his selfless spirit, others who talked about his incredible influence on them when they were young. He was clearly someone who left a deep impression. Here's the crucial point. When you empower one group, another group might see that as a threat. His work stirred up some really fierce opposition from what the sources call anti-congregants, basically groups who were dead set against the social and educational progress of the tribal people he was there to serve. All that opposition, it came to a tragic head in July of 1967. On the night of July 13th, hired assassins attacked and stabbed him. He was rushed to a hospital, he received care, but the injuries were just too severe. 3 days later, on July 16th, Father James Kottayil died. But the end of his life, that was nowhere near the end of his story. In fact, you could say it's the real turning point. So now, let's look at the incredible legacy that grew from that sacrifice. A legacy you can see today, and it's all about education. And that really brings us to the big question, doesn't it? When one person makes that kind of ultimate sacrifice for a cause, what's the lasting impact? What's left behind? Well, the answer is, it's pretty staggering. Okay, look at this number, 331. So what is that? That's the number of schools for just one grade level, Class 8, in the Ranchi district alone. And that's a 2024 number, not the whole state, just one district. And here's the connection. The Ranchi district is a huge part of that same Chota Nagpur region where Father Kottayil and all of his other missionaries were working. So this isn't some random statistic, it's a direct look at the educational system in the very place his story took place. And to make it even more real, just look at some of the names from the official school list for Ranchi. You see High School, Bethany Convent, Carmel Girls High School, Don Bosco, Holy Cross. I mean, the list just goes on and on. The footprint of that missionary-led push for education is literally written in the names of the schools that are there today. So there you have it, the whole picture. The story narrows down to this sharp, tragic point of one man's sacrifice. And then, from that, it just explodes outwards into this broad, strong foundation of hundreds of schools that are still serving the region today. And that really leaves us with a final thought to chew on. How often do we look at our modern institutions, our schools, our hospitals, and not even think about the individual stories, the personal sacrifices that built their foundations?
The story of Father James Kottayil is just this powerful reminder that history, it isn't just about big, broad movements. It's about the individuals who were brave enough to get them started.